Florida. Obviously, we had a little bit of a stormy weekend, on deck, and now we've got to look forward to the work week.
Exactly. So, Julie, I will tell you, it was nice to have this rain this weekend because it kind of forced me to just like calm down, stay home, relax a little bit because it was storming outside. But I mean, it looks like we might have some of that still lingering on today.
Alex, I wish I was with you this weekend. You got sleep, you said calm, you said all the things.
I did.
In my dreams, that was what I was hoping for. But listen, as we all start the new work week, it is starting off really nice and beautiful. So anything you couldn't have gotten done over the weekend, do it now until 3 o'clock, because Alex is right. We are expecting another round of afternoon storms. You can almost see just how cloudy. The milky skies are starting to return, very subtle right now in Key West. Fort Lauderdale Tower Cam was showing that too. I don't know if you noticed that. Temperatures upper 70s and lower 80s, so we feel like the low 80s once you factor in the relative humidity to the air temperature. 90s for you in the Keys. We are starting to see that glimpse of the possibility of some Saharan dust returning back to the forecast. Nothing too terrible and nothing causing respiratory issues, nothing causing any issues if you have allergies or respiratory issues. It's a dry start giving way to afternoon storms expected again today, so grab that rain gear. You'll need it right now if you're down by the Keys. I got a lot of lightning developing right here by Grassy Key and Layton Key, but otherwise as a point of view, I wanted to show you, it looks as though that Saharan dust slowly starting to get closer to us. It's right now over the Bahamas. Tropical updates in on Tropical Storm Ferdinand. This system has winds of 50 miles per hour. It's moving north-northeast at 12 miles per hour. Again, it's losing its tropical characteristics by Tuesday into Wednesday. We'll say goodbye to it. There's an area near the Lesser Antilles we're watching with a 10% chance. It looks like we just got an update, so that might be a 0% chance. I'll have more details on this coming up.
All right, Julie, good morning, South Florida. Let's take a look at your roads. You do have a major accident here in your express lanes on 95 going southbound. You can see several emergency vehicles, several cars involved. One of them actually smashed into the median, a gray sedan there. You can see fire rescue arriving. This is a live look right now. So you do have your express lanes in this area closed. Your regular lanes are moving very slowly. This is just before the Airport Expressway going southbound on I-95. So if you'd like to avoid this altogether, you can take 441. As you can see, it's a lot of activity. They're starting to block one of your lanes, one of your regular lanes as well here. So definitely just avoid this altogether. I can show you what this looks like on your maps here. See all of that red right there just as you approach also the Julia Tuttle. If you're trying to get off on Miami Beach, I would avoid this altogether. Take 441. You do see that there are several lanes blocked there. Broward County, you guys are accident free. This is just one area that I'm seeing some slight delays for you. So this is 95 going northbound as you approach Sheridan Street. Small pocket once you get past it, you're in the green. I'll leave you with some drive times. 595 going eastbound. It'll take you 16 to 8 minutes to get you where you need to go. Be safe out there. All right, South Florida, let's take a look at your roads. Good Monday morning at 7:46, and things are still pretty busy out there. Right now, you are taking a live look at I-95 going southbound. Your northbound lanes are good, but in your southbound lanes near the Airport Expressway, just before it, you do have this situation going on here. It's an accident involving several cars. You can see several emergency vehicles here. You did just have fire rescue out there, too. You can see that they are forcing you off of the express lanes in this area. So your regular lanes are still moving, but a little slowly. Your express lanes are closed in this area because they are working this investigation. You can see this car right here, a gray sedan that smashed into the median. Let's take you over to your maps here so you can see what we're looking at. Look at all of that red right there. Again, this is just before the Airport Expressway. You can avoid this by taking 441. Let's take you over to another area. We're seeing some delays. I did want to give you a wide look here at the turnpike going northbound so you can see how far back these delays are going between Southwest 288th Street and Southwest 152nd Street. It just keeps getting red and more red. So you can see US 1 does have small pockets of delays as well, but it's nowhere near as bad as the turnpike going northbound. So I definitely recommend taking US 1 instead in this area. Let's take you over to some drive times here. 595 going eastbound Broward County. I-75 to US 1 will take you 21 minutes. University Drive to US 1 will take you 11. Let's take things over to our queen of weather, Julie.
You're so sweet. Thank you very much, Annaliese. Well, let me tell you, can't blame the weather for all those delays. I think it's just a typical Monday, back to school and back to work. At least you're getting out the door with crystal clear skies compared to the weather we had over the weekend, right? We did see some measurable rainfall, beneficial rainfall for our rain gauges, and beneficial to help fight that fire, the brush fire over northwestern Broward County. 2 to almost 4 inches of rain fell over the weekend. Just yesterday, almost 1/4 of an inch in Pompano Beach, just about 1/10 of an inch in Miami. As for rain chances, they said about 30% today. I don't think the storm coverage will be as widespread as the weekend, but it does return to that coverage by the end of the week and going into long holiday weekend. As for what it looks like right now, gorgeous. Temperatures are upper 70s and mid 80s from Fort Lauderdale, Miami to Key West. The winds are calm. Eventually, we will start to see the winds start to move in from the west-southwest. Dew points are in the mid to upper 70s, so off the charts steamy. So it feels like 83 degrees, which really, it's not terrible. We've had warmer mornings, like we've been talking 90s before we even get to 10. As for rain, I do have a few storms right now over parts of the Keys, Marathon Key and Layton Key, but it's starting to move away. Widening the view, the reason we were so wet over the weekend is this frontal boundary. We were ahead of it, and now we're waiting for another one that's going to bring more fall-like weather for parts of the nation's midsection to the south. And out west, we're talking heat-related deaths occurring as we speak. They're dealing with not only heat advisories, but extreme heat warnings for much of California, all the way down to Southern California, Nevada, and towards Arizona. And then we're seeing nice, comfortable conditions for parts of Chicago to the northeast. For us, we have dry air and we have moisture. So at the surface, once we have that peak heating of the day, the air condenses and basically lifts, and then we see the sea breeze forming. Then the storm steered towards our direction is the reason we're going to be so soaked by the afternoon. We do it again tomorrow too. Feels like temperatures get well into the triple digits though before we even see those storms around. Headed to the beach, I suggest it between now and about 2-3 o'clock. We have a moderate risk of occurrence for beachgoers, boaters. The bays will be at a light chop. For you in the Keys, also looking good, as nearshore waters will be smooth. 7-day forecast calls for highs staying in the 90s. Again, the next best chance of storms will come Friday for the long holiday weekend. Have a great day. You're tracking Tropical Storm Fernand, and this system has winds of 50 miles per hour racing to the northeast at 12. The system becomes basically a remnant low. It loses its tropical characteristics by Tuesday and into Wednesday. I'll have a lot more on your forecast coming up in just a bit.
South Florida, good Monday morning. Let's take a look at your roads. This accident is still active on I-95 going southbound. This is just before the Airport Expressway. You can see that the emergency vehicles are still blocking off your express lanes in this area. They even have a left lane blocked here as well. You can see several cars involved. This gray sedan smashed into the median. There were also fire rescue trucks here earlier working to find out more on the people who were involved in this accident. It is causing some heavy delays for you in your regular lanes as many of the cars in the express lanes are working to get onto those regular lanes. So I definitely suggest either not jumping on those express lanes earlier on, taking your regular lanes, or taking 441 in this area. I can take you down to your map so you can see how far that red goes back right there. You can see all of that buildup. Speeds here moving as slowly as 10 miles per hour. So definitely no fun. Take 441. Another area I want to point out to you again are some heavy delays on the turnpike we're seeing this morning. There's not even a little bit of a breather here. You see all of that red going all the way up. This is between Southwest 288th Street and Southwest 152nd Street. You can see that US 1 though looks pretty good. So I would definitely suggest taking US 1 if this is part of your commute at this hour in the morning. Let's take you over to some drive times. This is I-75 going northbound. The Palmetto to I-595 will take you 15 minutes, and the Palmetto to Pines Boulevard will take you 8. Eric. Welcome back, South Florida. It is 8:15, and this accident is still active. This is I-95 going southbound. Just before the Airport Expressway, you can see your express lanes are still closed here. Your regular lanes are moving pretty slowly, and you can see the cars are being forced off one by one off of those express lanes. If you do head this direction at this time in the morning, definitely avoid the express lanes because you will get stuck in that. Nonetheless, it's still moving slowly, so you can take 441 to avoid all of this altogether. You can see a gray sedan smashed into the median here. Several emergency vehicles. There were fire rescue trucks here earlier, so we're working to find out how everyone's doing. You can see all of that red right there in those southbound lanes. So this accident is causing some very serious delays all the way back from Ives Dairy Road down to, as you approach the Airport Expressway, the downtown Miami area. Let's take you a little closer so you can see the center of this accident. You can see that that's when things start to open up for you on those southbound lanes. Over here, another area that I've been pointing out to you all morning long because we're not seeing really anything clearing up just yet. This is the turnpike going northbound between 288th Street Southwest and Southwest 152nd Street. You can see all that red right there. If you look at US 1, you guys are looking good out there, so definitely take US 1 if this is part of your commute. Once you approach US 1 on the turnpike, you can also jump onto the Palmetto if you want to once you get to that area. Let's take you over to some drive times here. 75 going northbound. It'll take you 14 to 8 minutes to get you where you need to go. We're going to take a look now at things with Michaela.
All right, Annaliese, thank you.
On this Monday morning, another hot and humid start to the school day, to the work week. Hi, Julie.
Hey, check out the sunrise, guys. It
Let's
looks
see.
pretty amazing. Watch that.
Wow.
It's the oohs and
We
ahs.
are lucky.
Exactly.
There you go.
There's the song too. Ooh, ah. And I mean, not a cloud in the sky. No complaints. A beautiful start to the day. It's going to stay that way for the next several hours until we do see those sea breeze storms developing. As for temperatures, lower 80s, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, 86 degrees in Key West. Winds variable right now, but expect to move out of the west-southwest. Dew points mid to upper 70s. Feeling steamy to sticky out there with our feels like temperatures in the upper 80s and knocking on 90 degrees in the Keys. As for the Keys, they've been the only spot that we've been seeing a few showers over Marathon Key and Layton Key, but widening view, we still have the system that brought us all the storms this weekend. It really is the cold fronts that we are ahead of because it helps to the instability in the atmosphere. We're going to do that again as we go into the end of the week, especially because a reinforcing front moves through, keeping that cool fall-like weather for much of the nation's midsection to the northeast to the southeast. But out west, we've got this high pressure that continues to bring the low humidity and the hot and dry conditions. And unfortunately, we're talking record highs and we're talking red flag warnings. We're talking some heat related deaths could be possible across the southwest from California, Nevada to Arizona. Then complete opposite forecast. Look at this, 72 degrees as a high in Chicago, 71 in Detroit. That's fantastic. All right, we have an intermixing of moisture and some drier air. We'll see our winds moving in from the west southwest. That's going to push any storms that do develop to the metro coastal areas. Our rain coverage today will not be as widespread as what we saw over the weekend, though we'll still see some storms around. As we go into the forecast, it'll be hot and humid with all that sunshine. We're expecting feels like temperatures in the triple digits before the storms do move in. Moderate risk of occurrence for beachgoers, boaters. The bays will be at a light chop. I've been saying it all morning. If you do have the day off and you want to head to the beach or do some boating, I say do it now until about 2, 3 o'clock because then the storms will roll in. So don't leave home without the rain gear. Have a great day.
All right, Julie, thank you.
And now heading into the regular season, we got so much to talk about. A live look from Key West, our tower camera up and running. Gorgeous start as always there on Mallory Square.
Yeah, let's enjoy the blue skies and dry conditions. Temperatures low to mid 80s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Key West feeling like the upper 80s and the low 90s, even though we do have a little bit of Saharan dust moving in. Feels like temperatures back into the 90s this afternoon. We will see those afternoon storms sparking just after lunchtime, really 2, 3 o'clock. Let's go to the rain on the radar. Same radar we were just looking at. It's noticing the showers moving away from the Keys. Let's go to the tropical update too, because I'm happy to tell you we've got a lot of the Saharan dust starting to move in from the Bahamas and the Atlantic. That'll be something that we're noticing to keep things pretty quiet across much of the Atlantic after we watch Tropical Storm Fernandez system. It has winds up 50 miles per hour. It's going to basically lose its tropical characteristics by Tuesday into Wednesday. It's the only area we are watching now. So let's talk about the traffic with our traffic queen, because you are actually very busy this morning, huh?
I have been nonstop, Julie. So let's take a look at your road, South Florida. Right here, I-95 going southbound still has this accident very active out there. This is your express lanes that you're seeing with that closure because of that gray sedan there. You see it smashed into the median. You can also see several emergency vehicles. Earlier, fire rescue was here working the scene as well. There were 2 that arrived. You can see the cars being forced off the express lanes into your regular lanes. You even have a left lane and your regular lanes blocked. So really annoying as part of your commute this morning. Hopefully everybody involved in this accident is okay, but I can tell you that you can take 441 instead if you'd like to avoid all of that red that you see there. Again, this is just before the Airport Expressway. As you are heading onto the beach, the Julia Tuttle, that's where you're seeing all of this. I would definitely take 441. Just avoid it. Another area we're seeing some delays here, not because of anything specific, just some delays. The turnpike going northbound. This is for my Broward County friends. As you approach Sample Road, you can see all of that red right there. Definitely no fun either. So definitely give yourself a little extra time if that's part of your commute. I-75 going northbound here. Palmetto to I-595 will take you 14 minutes. The Palmetto to Pines Boulevard will take you 8. Be safe.
Thanks for checking on that.
Let's switch gears on this beautiful Monday morning. It is 8:46, and this is that sunrise that, in case you're just joining us, you missed, but I've got it for you always, each and every morning, because this is the time that we get to see that beautiful skies. You know, Andrew says the golden hour. Well, I feel like it's been golden hours for us. The sun came up just before 7, and we've seen nothing but sunshine since. Look. I promise. We also are noticing a little milky skies in the distance. I've noticed my Fort Lauderdale tower cam pointing well into the Atlantic water, showing a little bit of that haze out there. So maybe a sliver of some Saharan dust, but really the main event of that dust doesn't start to arrive until tomorrow and going into Wednesday. As for our winds, they're variable, anywhere between 3 to 6 miles per hour. Dew points mid to upper 70s. Our feels like temperatures are in the upper 80s and low 90s. Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Key West. Showers and storms are expected to be in the forecast for Broward and Miami-Dade later today. Right now we have a few storms that we're trying to hold together by Marathon, but they diminished after the morning downpours. All right, the weekend was a washout because of this frontal boundary that's now pushing offshore, but we'll be ready for another one. This is the front that has brought some beautiful fall-like weather for the nation's midsection to the northeast, but it's also acting like a roadblock for this ridge of high pressure out west for the hot and less humid conditions, but it's the heat advisories that continue because of the fire danger out west. Now for us, we've got that air moving in from the west-southwest, and those storms will be pushing towards the metro coastal areas. We do it again tomorrow, staying hot, staying humid, staying hazy. As our forecast calls for feels like temperatures in the triple digits, we do that again tomorrow too. Headed to the beach or doing any boating, we have a moderate risk of upcurrents for beachgoers, boaters. The bay is at a light chop. Here's your boating forecast for you in the Keys. No advisories as nearshore waters will be smooth. 7-day forecast calls for highs to stay in the 90s, which is typical for this time of year. But our next real best chance of storms will go into Friday. And yes, leading into the long holiday weekend, we will see an impulse of storms rolling in off another front that stalls out north of us, but keeps that moisture content very high for the long holiday weekend. Have a great day.
Alrighty, another look at your roads, South Florida. It is 8:48 and your roads are still busy. I-95 going southbound just before the Airport Expressway. You're still seeing this accident very active here. The sedan still against the median there. Several emergency vehicles working the scene here. Now your regular lanes are moving very slowly. Your express lanes still being forced off there. So the backup is quite pretty far back here. You can see all that red right there. That is some heavy congestion. Again, this is just before the Airport Expressway. Definitely give yourself a little extra time here. You can also just avoid this altogether, which is what I would do, and take 441. Let's take you over to another area. We're seeing some heavy delays here. This is the turnpike going northbound as you approach Sample Road. Take a look at all that red right there. 95 looks good in this area though, so you can take 95 over here. I will leave you with some drive times, Broward County. 595 going eastbound. I-75 to US 1 will take you 20 minutes, and University Drive to US 1 will take you 12. Eric.
Annaliese, thank you. Still ahead.